Alright, we are back. Is more Trigger Happy Havoc. Yeah, something dropped here, so we're gonna check that out. There's a giant piece of trash just fall down here. I carefully outstretched my hand and carefully stretched my hand out towards whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me. It's Kyoko, isn't it? A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. Kyoko! And she's got ramen.
Awful.
Oh shit, this is fully voice acted. She has a fucking cup of ramen on her head. Kyoko.
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you finish. Smash. Thank you. Snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way to my stomach. Phew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Fair enough. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Oh no. To atone. Atone.
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. Bitch! Absolute bitch. Why would you do that? You were trying to save me and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to
In
survive
other words...
is so that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope Speak Academy for one very important reason. Fucking law drop! So you have some reason for coming to Hope Speak.
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once?
I...
Till recently, I'd forgotten what it was. But that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? How early was that? That was like so early, wasn't it? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we'd arrived at the school? First thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted and when I woke up I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. It's gone, it's gone. Oh Lord, it's gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems too much convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my abilities, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plan. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. Valid point. Very, very valid point. I cannot stress that enough of how valid that is. But, no, it's a good point. It's a very good point. Otherwise, you know, it goes fucking sideways. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. I just bit my fucking tongue with my molars. Ah! I do that fairly often. But since it is a possibility, we can ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us? She believed that, and of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Yes, why Makoto? Why Bryce Pappin boy? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Rude! I wonder if my stuff is too loud. Meh. Actually, I'm going to shift it down ever so slightly, that way it sits where it needs to be. Okay, just turning it down apparently shifted my shit, so I can't turn it down. But it's fine. It's kind of where it should be anyway. Your intuition was right though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand.
Oh shit.
I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Ugh. It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Let's go! I'd better talk to Kyoko. Why not just say it all in one sentence? It makes a lot more sense that way. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Let's go! The ultimate detective.
correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, it was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. Headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. No! What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child, as it turns out. He became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster. Good lord. Then that explains. When Ultra Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved, I'll find a way.
Huh?
Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
no matter what.
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on?
I
My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However,
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
It was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I had found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Is this some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. Okay, interesting. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Makuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. Why? That's the real question. Why? Why would they ever stay overnight at a school where they work? I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues. I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered what my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So I went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. My question, alright, now I've only just thought of this. My question is, where does Monokuma put all the bodies? Because he's executing people at least once a week. So, assuming it's only... Okay, so it's either a couple of days or it's been, you know, weeks since this whole shit started. So, where are the bodies? Are they in here decomposing, or did he, like, incinerate them? Follow-up question. Why do we have the incinerator if this place exists? These are all important questions. What do you mean?
so
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important and really ominous. Can we go yet? I'd better talk to Kyoko. God damn it. Is this just a talking episode?
however,
Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mikuro Ikusaba, right? Doesn't it?
however,
To be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. And I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. No shit! To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mikuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion. Yeah.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. I won't lie, that's really fucking smart. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves are somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mikuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mikuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have been the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night?
I
can hear them, you know. Footsteps of the god of death. What? What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. I'd prefer goddess of death, personally. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell. I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away as I followed it. I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. And I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. Again, it's really fucking smart that all this shit's coming together. Like, it's coming together really nicely, and it's really fucking smart how they did it. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the Kalash trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Makuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. Do you think or do you know? That is the question that we are asking now. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the Clash Trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Makuro. They needed the Clash Trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? This should shape it up nicely. Like, as I've mentioned all throughout this playthrough, I know who the mastermind is. I know damn near everything from this game. I haven't played it to completion, but I watched the anime and I've watched Jay from the Cub Scouts play a vast majority of it. He had to cut out a section because his OBS stopped working, that's not the point. But I know who the mastermind is. I knew who each victim was going to be. I knew who each fucking killer was going to be. I knew it. I knew it all from word go. If for no other reason than I'd seen the anime show and I know what's coming up. I know who the ultimate despair is. Yeah, this is shaping up nicely. The mystery's starting to come together and all the puzzle pieces are starting to fit. You know, I pointed out the red nails on the victim from the last episode, Makuro. Even though they never really saw her face, like, you can see the hints there if you're paying close enough attention. On Makuro's... we'll call it Makuro's body, you can see the blonde hair. Or like the pinky blonde hair, you can see the red fake nails. And it's amusing, it annoys me that they never put that together before what's going on, but it is what it is. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Makuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the tragedy, whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It seems...
That despicable group, whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're,
Indeed.
make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. Facts. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Oh god, the air freshener's fucking choking me. Jesus. 100-mile dash, pain of junk food junkie. So yeah, this is interesting. To be continued. I thought I was a dildo for a second, Jesus fuck. Given the fact that one of the first rewards, I think it was the second one, we literally got like Mondo's fucking underwear at one point, I'm pretty sure. So it would not put it past me. Like, we've gotten fucking whips as gifts, we've gotten like, I think we got a Kama Sutra book at one point. This game is not, I wouldn't put it past this game. I could have honestly finished that in like 20 minutes last episode, but we're gonna just keep moving forward. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. Has it? But right now.
Anyway,
Right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Yay! Rattle, rattle. It's locked, but we have a way to open this door. Go on, Kyoko. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool? That's a surprise tool that I'll buzz later. That you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school.
that's right.
That's right. It's a skeleton key. And we should be able to use it on that door, right? Come on, let's go. Hey, Kyoko, can we use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then... click. Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Quickly. I am fucking verbally dyslexic apparently. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. The ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Ultimate! After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. We start climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Missed opportunity, Makoto. Absolutely missed opportunity. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. Fair point. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Fair. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family has always seen it that way. Then is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. That is a very good way of looking at it, in my opinion. You know, like, it comes down to that. I want to say it's a TikTok sound, but I don't know where it came from. So that is what it is to me. It's I used it in a fanfic recently. It was, what's the difference between good and evil? A savior and a lost cause. What if the only difference is who's telling the story? Is essentially what the quote boils down to. And I really like it because it's really what it is. But I feel, now that I've said it, I feel like it's not even part of this conversation. But the only way to, like, true neutral never really exists. But you know, if you're gonna be as close to true neutral as you can be, detective is probably the best way to be. Either a detective because you don't really have to get involved, or yeah, it's the only place you can really truly be neutral. Like, your job is to find out who killed, but if it's not who you suspected it to be, well, you need to look at the other evidence. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. That too, that works. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because like I said, it's our source of pride. So that explains Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. She hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak Academy, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
what?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Fuck, felt that. I've felt that. Huh? But you'd be reunited after all those years, right? You'd have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There is something I want to say to him, though. Probably fuck you, go fuck yourself, you're a deadbeat. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
so...
I want to sever all ties with him. Yes! Sever. The last time I saw him, still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future, but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me, because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. I do not. I actively want to change it. I actually dropped my father's last name when I got married. So every last part of me is happy. He didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I would have never had the chance to become a detective. I was the butt of Kirigiri on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that, compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know, he had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
but there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
So...
the way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
but when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family, in order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. I honestly doubt that. It comes down to a case of like, family will always know their blood. As like a sort of like pseudo thing. It's like, you know, a mother will always know their child, no matter how old or how much they change and whatnot. Like, they will always know their family. And I think a lot of humans know that. Like, I can distinctly remember as a kid, like, having met family members that I'd never met before, but I could tell they were blood. Not just because it was a family gathering, like, you know, partners and friends come to family gatherings all the time. But for me, it's a case of, like, just looking at them, I kind of knew that they were part of my bloodline or part of my family tree or whatever you want to fucking call it. I don't care what you call it, but my point stands. Like, her being like, oh, you know, my father probably forgot about me. He probably fucking didn't. If he did, he'd recognize you almost immediately. Like, how many people in this universe have purple fucking hair? Not a fucking lot. Togo. I can think of two. Miru? No, Miyu's pink. Yeah, can't think of a lot in this universe. But your family, to just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? No. Fuck no, not a chance. Only connected by blood, but not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. And it's locked again. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Oh shit. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say it was safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back at Hope's Peak Academy, the other nightmare. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary, I was just returning the favor. Close it up, let's go. This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I would never have imagined that's where this led. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you too, you helped me so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then
let's just get a concrete answer, huh?
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we find out. Till we're found out, and it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. Saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
so
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Makura's death. It was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. It was?
right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'd be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. No, she's got a point. She's got a very, very good point. Like, it's always going to be a case of, like, do you just confront Monokuma? If he might kill you on the spot, he may let you slide. It's better to go get it done quickly rather than try and hide and stress yourself out. I'm already going grey. I don't need any more stress in my life. My stress is at capacity. But to be fair, I'm also unemployed, so I could probably get more stressed. That should help with our negotiations. Feel a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Why is Monokuma in the gym? Is that just where he stands on fucking Alt? Map. Yes, I'm gonna fast travel. Sue me. Gym entrance. Go! Random bullshit. Go!
Well now.
Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? He was supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What would you do? The guilty party is exposed during the class trial. They alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I'm gonna punish you again. This time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko, do whatever you feel you have to. What? Fucking bitch threw us under the bus again immediately after saving us.
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
now
You execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that matters to you, right? Not that that matters to you. I hate that shit. Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You, explain yourself. You, Namekian, too strong, explain now. What do you mean by that?
because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted to execute me. You wanted an excuse to kill me.
In other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But then, when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right,
In response to that unexpected development,
indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Black and then trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery, alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose. You talk a big game, but you're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine that makes such bold claims without a shred of evidence? Oh shit. I don't like my chair popping all the time. Yeah, no, valid points are being made on both sides. She can't prove shit, but he also can't not uphold his end of the regulations. I'm just checking Discord while I'm walking out my ass. But yeah, no, it's definitely a difficult thing because Monokuma definitely prides himself on his rules. Like, that is something that he's expressly said a few times, is that, you know, his rules are his alone to deal with. And other than that, I'm just shifting around. Other than that, there's nothing else he can really do to kind of avoid this. But she also has no evidence outside of like whatever she's already working on.
that doesn't
I don't
matter.
have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type. She basically is, my dude.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire. Kyoko is so fucking sassy, unless that's just how I read her, but it is so fucking... She's... What's the term? She slays in this moment? She's slaying fucking Monokuma's ego is what's happening.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince. If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making all this up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, if you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makoto's trial over again. Only this time, you followed the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
I got chills. What is it called? Goosebumps? Gooseflesh?
Hey,
Well, that would make for an appropriate climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown, in other words. This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Makuro's killer. Of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Barely interesting indeed. Barely?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. God damn it, I hate the bear jokes. I love them, but I hate them. Now, what you've suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax. Can you stop, please?
In other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And would it cause you unbearable despair, right? And I'm pretty bearable to your terms. I'm back. My wife needed help. I'm pretty bearable to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory? Please stop.
Barely
Let's
contain
let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. And we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
Guys!
So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right, every last mystery that's pouring around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain
then there'll be enough to qualify for a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Makuro's death and solve the mysteries of this school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain myself. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've been covered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I also can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. You remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Makuro is no exception to that. Huh? Makuro's trial is no exception, then it's part of the regulations. Which would have to mean that whoever killed Makuro, it's a very polarizing approach. I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. The only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd he go quiet all of a sudden? I'm done talking, I've got nothing left to say to you, so get lost, would ya? Why so mad?
Whew.
He seems emotionally unstable. When has he ever been emotionally stable? Hello? Where have you been for the last fucking 6 chapters? Leave me alone, get out of here. Okay, I'm going, You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay? I'm just gonna leave him laughing like that. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. He's never been stable. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true.
whew,
Still glad it worked. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
So,
They had a choice, but they had no choice but to accept. Huh?
because...
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let the guard down, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let the guard down?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said that they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it?
in other words,
And think of it another way, there must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
so...
They had to show the world something no matter the cost, us killing each other. They wanted to show the
It
world.
would seem...
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all of their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. I'm dropping shit. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody. Is it gonna skip?
In other words,
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other to show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point.
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. We're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair. The mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? And that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would achieve. God damn it, stop dropping shit. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Oh, okay, I'm gonna shift my camera over. I'm still trying to, like, get a hold of, like, everything. Still, like, adjusting my setup to this day. But, is that really the only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least...
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial following all of their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer that made me out to be the killer. Really smart. And even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure... Ah. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead of... who also was not... They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that desperation is better... to prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violate their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge?
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
Wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning, essentially. I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right this time, at least. I won the bet. She let a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I'd shown my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However...
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to earn this time. Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There is no option except to win.
Hey.
But before we begin the final fight, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone? Work together with everyone.
However...
Is that really possible? Huh?
Anyway,
right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorm somewhere, shall we? Yes, we shall. Jesus Christ, this episode's been nothing but talking, which is to be expected. It's like, I usually run these as like 3-segment chapters, so we've got like the aftermath of like the trial, so like verdicts and whatnot, investigations, and then the trials, but we may let's take a Kyutaka, Mondo Mi, Sayaka, Byakuya. I know I was going through the doors, but I can't remember what I was saying. I know I was like pretty much counting them, but we're gonna ignore that. Okay, Kuroguri is back all the way over here, I'm pretty sure. Is she not? Apparently she is. Where? This is in his room. Is she inside?
Hey.
Okay, so we need to keep looking. Celeste, Junko, Byakuya. This is Byakuya's room. Is he inside?
Hey.
I don't think he's here. Come on, we need to keep looking. I want to go through everybody's door. Go. This is Toka's room. Is she inside?
Hey.
I don't think she's... Where the fuck are they? Is he inside?
Hey.
I don't think he's coming. We need to keep looking. Where the fuck are they? They're not in the gym. We just went to the gym. The guy in... And suddenly, we were greeted with... Fucking what? You again? Is he broken?
Whew.
I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. He was never stable. Jeez, what the heck?
However...
I wonder what that was all about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Huh.
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
I love that they're all kind of like, at least somewhat excited.
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
Huh? You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
I like how he looks like he has 4 arms. I love it. Everyone was there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived. They As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks. It's Makoto, he smells like a wet dog. Get away, shoo, shoo. You cannot talk. And in a flash, my tears dried up. You stink, are you rotten? Rotten physically, mentally, every way you can be rotten. Sorry, I was rolling around in garbage for a while. That smell is so... This smell is so smelly. A smelly, smelly smell. Super smelly, you smell even worse than me, way worse than me. I win. She seems happy for some reason. I wouldn't call that happy. So, what have you guys been doing while I was gone? Well, we figured that since the trial was over, we'd have access to new places again, and... No dice, all the rooms that were locked before were still locked. So there wasn't any new areas. Then where can we go to find new clues? Still can't believe you survived. Yeah, me either. Do you realize why it is you escaped execution? It was alter ego. He saved my life.
That's right.
Not too many people can say that they had their lives saved by a computer program. Fair point. You raise a fair point. Raise a fair point there, Byakuya. You're still a dick though. I imagine it was a learning experience for you. How? Yasuhiro.
Yo!
Makoto, what was it like hanging out in the spirit world? I didn't go to the spirit world.
You know?
Did you get to talk to her? Who? Miss Cleo. No, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't go to the spirit world. I mean, who the heck is Miss Cleo? I assume Miss Cleopatra. Anyway, we're just gonna talk to Kyoko then. There's no time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened with Monokuma. And if I don't want to?
Yes.
Explain? Explain what? But is it okay for you that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you all about the last class trial. Last class trial?
In other words,
We're going to redo Makuro's trial. Mukuro's. What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it like I keep telling you.
wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer, and of course, it's not me or any of you. Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is, it was all the work of the mastermind. What? You're saying the mastermind killed Makuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to stop
However-
it. But his decision meant he would be the one to die.
What
You
did you
spotted
say?
the trap, did you, Makoto? Make it sound like it was easy. I just,
However,
But executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The rules state that only the Blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules, which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time. And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
correct.
Very observant of you. Honestly, they match each other's crazy. Byakuya and Kyoko's crazy matches each other's crazy. It's great.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. When you said, now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean!
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. That's nothing new. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again. Later. So, knowing all this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's about who killed Makuro, right? So our job is to expose the mastermind. But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school. Every last mystery?
But
But we've been looking around all this time, we still don't know anything, right?
Anyway,
Probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies. Everyone? Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine living here forever with Master. I mean, what? I mean, I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
Anyway,
Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. I cannot fucking speak.
Interesting.
In other words, one decisive final battle, a rather interesting development, I'd say.
But
But figuring out who the mastermind is and how they killed Makuro and all the school secrets, it's a pretty tall friggin' order. Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not so sure about that. I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree, why not? I mean, working together with everyone else seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought too, at first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. But why?
So in other words,
If the mastermind really is the one who killed Makuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have had to set foot in their school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Makuro, and there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
in other words,
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is... Are there actually 16 here? Yeah, there were 15. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... I'm missing someone. 15 plus, Makuro. Not Makuro, fucking... Makuro. I'm bad with multiple names. I did Makuro and you got... Yeah. Jesus Christ, cat. What do you want? No. You don't get to suck up to me. Oh. I can't read. So...
that's right.
Oh shit. Okay. And of those 16 people we started out with, the only one still... Okay, no, hold on. There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning, add in Makuro and you get 16, so the mastermind would have had to be one of them. And of those 16 people we started out with, the only ones still alive are the people sitting right here. Need I continue or do you get it now? You're saying the mastermind's one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma was right. Monokuma might have just said all of that to confuse us. Certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. I mean... Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. Okay, something that's come to my attention about the ultimate title. Do they put that shit on the job resume? It's like... You look at the resume, it's like... Chihiro Fujisaki. Experience? Previous occupations? High school students. Graduated X year. Experience. Ultimate programmer. You just... like... education. Probably first job, like... high school... Hope's Peak. Ultimate program. It's like, what? Yeah. But if one of us is the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? You can't say it's not. Okay. But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious any time Monokuma was active?
Well,
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
but
I don't care how sneaky you are. We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right.
Then maybe
right?
Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode.
Ooh.
So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
Hmm?
Very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we get to begin our investigation, but I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my
At this point,
family.
I can rely on only on myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins. It is not that deep, my dude. But I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then. After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. He didn't take me with him. And Toko.
Hey.
Do you blame him? For that, master, the rest of you are like coffee with cream without the cream, or coffee. It's black coffee then. You're totally useless. Coffee? What? That made no sense. So, bye. With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall. And now she's gone. You're gonna go off by yourself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I want to go by myself too.
just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity. He's gonna... laughing out loud, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's gonna go off by themselves? What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing. I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know?
Because, I mean,
But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everybody else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto? That's really nice of you to say. But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless.
okay.
So I figure, at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see ya. Alright then. Fucking party I want, I suppose. You know what is in surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, it's just the two of us.
Indeed.
Just the two of us. Indeed. Do I leave? I probably shouldn't leave. Fuck. So you're gonna go off on your own too, right, Kira?
However,
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
so...
That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing our own investigation doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. Should I just see as us splitting up to cover more ground? And then we can get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
So then,
Well, I'd better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check.
correct.
Monokuma said all the doors in the school have been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't go before.
Makoto.
Makoto, no matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth. By any means necessary. With that, Kyoko was gone, leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove. I'll prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of the school. And then we can all escape together. Investigation. I want to end that here. So I'll start by taking another look at Makura's file. Okay, we're going to continue going apparently. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife that went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but those were at least several days old. Fucking several months old. Oh shit! Yeah, okay. Once we found out who killed Makuri Kusaba, then we'll know who the mastermind is. So where should I start my investigation to find out who killed her? I guess I should start with the rooms that were locked up until now. The headmaster's room, the biolab, and the door in the data center with Monokuma's face on it. Oh, and the second floor of the dorms where the gate was down before, that should be open now, right? After that, I have to double check the areas that are connected to the murder, which means the garden and the dojo. Okay, time to get started. Places to check has been added to the truth bullets. Okay. I'm going to save here, and I'm going to end it here. Because, as I said earlier, it's always trial aftermath, which I did try to get through, but I was just so drained I needed to get the video out. Not even out, just... I felt like it was a good place to leave. So it's usually end the trial, investigation, trial. And I might just do one big episode to wrap it all up at the end, with like the epilogue and everything. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how long that trial takes, which shouldn't be long. Yeah, fuck off. With that being said, as always, over my model you'll find my profile picture where it'll take you directly to my channel. Although I've been pushing it a bit, I don't know if I'm actually going to jump to Twitch. I may still do it, I may not, so Twitch will be in the description in case I do jump over there come New Year's. And on the left hand side you'll find a video that YouTube has recommended for you, whether it be one of my streams or one of my previously recorded videos, or fucking, it could be anything. It could be anything from my channel. Maybe check that out, keep the view channel going, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun shit as well. Really helps me out a ton. Clip anything that you find amusing, or like something that could make a good short, really helps me out as well. I'll see everybody in the next one. Laters. I'm gonna go play fucking Warframe.